This is our dual blade Kobalt 40 Max lawnmower. We've had this this is the 9th year. And I've done a few videos on it over the years. I kind of gave up for a while because there wasn't really much to say about it. But I just want to do a follow-up. We got it in May of 2014. It came with 2 batteries originally. This is the 4 amp hour battery. The original 2 amp hour battery died quite a while ago. I have a video on that. I found a replacement battery. I don't know if you can even get these anymore, but this is a 5 amp hour. And then I picked up the pole saw, and it came with a 2.5 amp hour battery as well. So the 4 amp, after 9 years, actually still works. It doesn't produce as much power as it used to. The mower doesn't spin up to full speed like it normally would, like in thick grass, but it still actually works, which is pretty amazing. The 5 amp hour battery is a number of years old. I don't recall when we got this. I've got a video on that as well. It's still in good shape. It runs well, and the 2.5 amp is only a few years old. It's quite good, but we can still get both the front and back yards with the 4.0 and the 5.0 installed in the machine. It runs through everything. I think the 4.0 is running about the same as the original 2.0 did. It doesn't last nearly as long as it did before, but it still does work. I know there's nothing in here to really give a sense of size, but that's the size of the front yard. And the backyard is just slightly larger than the front, maybe by a third. The machine itself is in pretty good shape still. You can see it's pretty faded from just use and sun, and it's kind of dirty right now. This is halfway through the season. Every season I clear it out and kind of scrape all the grass out of it, but usually, like now, halfway through the season, you can see there's a lot of grass built up in there that we're going to knock out with a putty knife. Blades have not been sharpened in a couple of years, so after I get done mowing today, I think I'm going to pull them and get them down to the hardware store and have them sharpen them. Wheels are holding up well. They're wiggly, but they were always wiggly. Even when it was new, they were kind of cheapy wiggly wheels. They hold up well though. Haven't had any problems. Grass does build up, and it is very noticeable in in your mowing. If you've got a lot of grass build up in there, it doesn't do as good of a job. Blades are pretty dull right now. I've had a number of people ask about putting the blades on and off recently, and you got to really make sure they go on the right side, or you're going to have issues. One is right hand and the other is left hand threading, so righty tight, it only works on one side. A small annoyance, and it's not too big of a deal, is that the handle has gotten pretty floppy over the years. I've tried tightening it down, but it's all just plastic. The original charger is still working well. This is the original. I did buy, as I mentioned before, a pole saw, and it came with another battery and a charger, so that was a nice bonus. The pole saw wasn't that much more expensive than just buying a battery, so in buying another tool, we ended up with an extra charger and an extra battery, and a very usable tool as well. And even with dull blades, it still does a pretty good job on the yard. So this is the front. Dull blades does equal some missed spots, especially with the dual blades. The center will miss them sometimes, so I find it's been a pretty reliable machine. So I was able to do both yards with the 4 amp, and this one obviously is totally shot. So I did the backyard with the 4 amp, and the 5 amp, I did the front yard, and we just have 1 bar left of charge on that. Now, I don't know if it's the right thing to do or not, but I always let these cool down for about 2 or 3 hours before I plug them back into charge. I don't know if that has part to do with the longevity of these. That 4 amp is literally like 9 years old now.